Welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker. Now, this is something that I might not succeed at on my first attempt. So here we are at the Verdant Grove or Verdant Chambers.
Forwards.
Now this tree is where it all begins, but before we take the tree we are going to have a tiny-whiny look around. Just so I get the map discovered. And also there should be some loot here somewhere. I don't know, I don't think I have any kind of perception whatsoever, but that's too pitiful.
Without a doubt.
How is our mobility? 18, that's good. Athletics, not so good, -2.
I will guide us.
But this one does use mobility, and we are going to need that, so that's good. Okay, let's try this then. I need to adjust some of the scrolls on my belt, because we definitely don't need magic missile. What we do need is a potion of cure serious wounds. We need scroll of expeditious retreat, scroll of fireball, scroll of a haste we can cast ourselves, I think, scroll of invisibility. And I think mage armor would be a good idea, but that we can just use immediately. 1 minute per level. Any other that is more than 1 minute per level. Heroism, that's good. Gizmo. Crazy cat. Any other buff? Divine power. Freedom of movement is good. There we go. Now let's touch the tree.
Oh, you did come. And alone, just as I asked. Do you not know, my loyal hound, that the brightest flowers are also the most poisonous?
She's not exactly the nicest. Lawful good, I helped you. There is no honor in attacking me.
Don't blame me. Blame the coronet given you by the Aldori. If it weren't for that, how many times have I seen countries and kingdoms arise from the dust, only to fall into dust once more? Thus will it be with your barony. For what is a barony without its baron? This is how it must be. The stolen lands will remain no one's, die or run. There is nothing you can change.
Stand with me.
Now, we have a Hydra here. I wonder if the... let's use a potion of Vanish. And then stand there, and then use the Fireball. And then another potion of Vanish. Do we have... Yes, we do. Let's use another Scroll of Fireball. And then another potion of Vanish. And do we have... Let's summon a fire elemental. And then, I guess... Can we fear this thing? Indeed we can, so let's cast Scorching Ray on it. And then the Owl Bear. Cast Stinking Cloud. And this time I think we'll go with an Earth Elemental. And then Haste. There we go. The only level 4 spell we have is Fear. Let's do another Stinking Cloud. And then Scorching Ray. And how about some Grease? And yet another Scorching Ray. I probably should have some damage spells in here as well. We have Call Lightning. We also have another Fireball. Let's use the Fireball. That took care of that.
Our path
And
leads
then
on.
there's a ferocious Manticore up there, so let's do a Water Elemental.
We will prevail.
And Grease. Searing Ray. No, find something else to attack. Perfect. Snowball. And another snowball.
We shall overcome.
Magic Missile. Magic Missile. Skin and collect. I'm not sure if we can loot this. We can. Collect all the Hydra eyes, and then we need to run up here.
I was successful in my search. Defeat is not an option.
A red cap. Let's do grease on ourselves.
Attack!
I think we might need to use the healing potion by now. Call lightning.
Strike as one.
Come on. Let's cast haste again.
That is quite a discovery. I was successful in my search.
What are you doing?
Do not hold back.
Am I stuck here?
We shall overcome.
I fear you then. Off you go.
That is quite a discovery.
Yeah, but I don't have time for that.
I have managed.
And leave.
Attack!
Need to kill these first. Let's put some healing potions down here.
Strike as one.
Magic missile. There we go. And there's part 3 of that book. Now let's get out of here and get back to the capital. That is a rather nasty quest, especially if you're not prepared for what you're doing.
A rest would be welcome.
Yeah, sure. Let's use the ration. And go directly to the throne room. Jod is here with some people. Judging by his flared nostrils and furrowed brow, something has upset Jod greatly. Your Grace, I have here one of your subjects. He goes by the name Remus. We caught him spreading false prophecies, sowing fear among your people. The old man before you is clad in tattered rags. His grey hair and beard are filthy and matted. Judging by the smell, he has not bathed in some time, perhaps years, and you have to fight the urge to cover your nose. Oblivious, the old man picks at his beard in silence as if trying to catch lice. You're not certain he even knows where he is. Jod straightens, his face flushing. As if that wasn't enough, this, Erastil forgive my words, prophet blasphemed against the deities, proclaiming we must bow to some false god. At the mention of God, the old man shudders and his eyes go wild, almost feverish. The goddess will rise from the forests, from the swamps. You've cut down her trees and drained her marshes, but she will take no more of this. Fall to your knees and repent, and she will grant you a swift death. Your Grace, you have to deal with this madman. I'm the only sane person in this city, this hideous, ugly city. Its stone buildings claw into the soil and thinks themselves safe. But the sky shall open, the earth shall tremble, and this city shall crumble beneath its pride. Erastil, have mercy. Will you be silent, you fool? And another world shall swallow the ugly city and its careless dwellers, and only the rain shall weep for the emptiness left in their place. I would know more about your prophecy, Remus. Remus looks at you silently, nervously pulling at his beard. Tell me about this goddess. I would know more about her. Her fury is like a river after a storm, her voice thunder in a summer sky, her touch as cold and sharp as a sliver of ice. She is beautiful as a dream. Remus stutters, then blushes. It's been 40 years since I last longed for a woman, but her. What is this other world you speak of, and what will happen to this city? A different world, fierce and wild, where mountains impale the sky, where rivers change direction, where the very trees talk to the stars. Remus swallows and stares ahead as though lost. The wild world will consume this city, shape it in its own image. It will be the end of all. How do you know about that? The goddess showed it to me in my visions. She whispered about a beautiful new world and told me she would heal nature's wounds. But I don't want it. He shakes his fist, threatening someone invisible. She must be stopped. We must offer up sacrifices, goats or cows or horses. That will be enough. It must be enough. Let's go with the diplomacy option here. Neutral good. So, an angry goddess will lay our city to waste because we drained her swamp? She must be a petty goddess indeed if she takes part in the affairs of mortals even on such significant occasions. Perhaps you simply had a dream and it merely seemed real? But... Remus's gaze becomes clear for a moment. His shoulders slump and he looks even older now, more tired. Maybe you're right. I need to lie down. Praised be Erastil. Is that a glimpse of reason? I thank you, your grace. You have turned this poor man towards the light. I will find him a place to sleep and make sure he's fed and sent back where he came from once he wakes. I think we should expect no more trouble and no new prophecies. Jod smiles and bows, signaling the end of the conversation. That was interesting. Oh dear, the game crashed. Okay, let's try that again. So the visitor has met with a baron and we got +1 divine. Now, we need to rank up. But before I do that, I should probably look into the quests we have. Prove your worth. We need to go kill Tusk Gutter. That one I'm not going to bother with. We probably need to go back to this Bartholomew person with this whip. And we also need to go back to Shania. We need to bring these to Bokken. 60 days left until the ancient curse. Yeah, let's level up the barony. Here we go, economy reached rank 3. Does that unlock any more advisors? No, it does not. Ugh, I didn't mean to click that. Oh well. Bokken, unfazed by the awkward silence, Bokken searches through his bag for quite a while. Finally, he pulls out a sizable brown paper package. There you go. A little something from old Bokken. We get an acerbic ring. If you ever need anything in particular, just let me know, blah blah blah. Thank you, this will prove useful. You may go now. Let's go back here. I think we need to... there is an event, trade taxes. This is a problem, so it needs to be attended. Some half-elf trading fabric in the capital discovered a loophole in the law, which made it possible to avoid paying most taxes. The news spread quickly through the Merchants Guild, and measures should be taken immediately or the treasury will take a loss. This sounds familiar. Let's put Jubilost on that, and then rank up the community. Community reached rank 3. Jubilost was successful. The treasurer not only left the loophole open, but deliberately lowered other taxes, which made sales volumes across the barony soar. This fully covered the losses to the treasury, +3 to economy. Restoration of Bronze Shield Fortress. Success. You've made progress in the restoration work. A region upgrade featuring this fortress is now available. +1 military, +2 stability. Now we can claim the North Gnarl Marshes. Let's send Octavia to do that. Oh. Not good. We now have the North Gnarl Marshes. It's getting quite big, this. We have 6 events. The Ancient Curse is upon us, expected in 2 weeks. We have Troublemakers. That needs to be attended to because it's a problem. We have a visitor waiting, an opportunity, another opportunity, and a final opportunity. So the final rank up, oh god, we have 2 rank ups, military and counselor. We still haven't unlocked more of these. Let's sell Ragongar on this. And we will deal with the visitor. Enchanted Wind, that's 21 days. This is 7 days. Let's send the Regent. Then we have Enchanted Wind, requires 21 days, and this one requires 10 days. This one requires Tristian, so we can do this with Harim. Start event and then go into the throne room. Willis Gunderson. A plump man in his 30s approaches you. His hair is untidy, road dust covers his worn clothes, and his boots have seen better days. The stranger speaks to you in an unusually high-pitched voice. Your Grace, I demand justice. Crime in the barony is on the rise. The man shakes his clenched fists, then drops his hands helplessly. In open daylight I was tricked, robbed, and if that weren't enough, humiliated. A gang of local thugs tricked me into trusting them. They found out about my possessions and disappeared with my treasures. I sent them to the island on Candlemere some time ago, and they just vanished into thin air. I beg you, find these scoundrels and retrieve my treasure. I'll pay a handsome sum to be sure these villains are brought to justice. You don't seem like a local. Why would you keep these possessions of yours in the island in the middle of Candlemere Lake? Willis bites his lip, as if caught doing something wrong. Well, you see, these aren't exactly my possessions right now. It's just I learned from the locals about the ruins of an ancient temple on the island. And everyone knows where there's a temple, there's always the hope of some treasure. Willis rubs his palm. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you believe that some sacred relics from the temple of an unknown deity belong to you. By what right? By the right of finding. I dug up all the stories about the temple. I hired the crew. I pointed out where to start the search. Besides, no harm done. No one ever really goes there anyway. There aren't many volunteers willing to visit a cursed island. Noticing the change in your face, Willis restrains himself. Oops, I'm just talking gibberish. I heard some gossip somewhere, and here I am, spilling it all on you. The man utters a phony giggle, then gulps. It's nothing, Your Grace. Just a big fat load of nothing. Some empty talk about someone sacrificing someone else there. And as for the ghostly lights, I'm sure there's a rational explanation for that. Same with the flash of light over the ruins. Someone offered sacrifices there, and I suppose we're not talking about animal sacrifices. Willis shrugs reluctantly. The locals say things. Something about that being why the place is cursed. Which deity was this temple dedicated to? Who cares? William interrupts himself and sighs. I don't know. I never asked. All I heard is that long ago the locals used to perform some rituals there dedicated to some ancient deity. Jubilost. Some rituals, some ancient deities. Now that's what I call getting into detail. With deep knowledge like that, you could easily write a book. You could call this opus magnum of yours some encyclopedia. What ghostly lights are you talking about? The lights were strange, you know. Willis frowns as if recalling something. They were brighter than fireflies and different colors. You can see them even from the shore. During the day, they're barely visible, but at night, people say that they're the restless souls of those who met their deaths on the island. Succeeded at a knowledge arcana check. It seems like Willis is talking about will-o-wisps, malevolent creatures made of light that feed on fears and other negative emotions. You mentioned a flash of light over the ruins. Did you see it with your own eyes or just hear about it from someone else? I saw it with my own eyes, and just recently. Almost blinded me, like half the island suddenly burst into flames. When the locals saw it, they fell to their knees and started to pray. They said that the old god had returned. Willis scoffs. Dimwits. What else would you expect from them? Says the king of dimwits. Jubilost, I really enjoy your bantering. I guess that's all I need to know about the island. Whatever you say, my baron. So again, who are you? Willis Gunderson, Your Grace. I am a scientist, an explorer, an adventurer, and a renowned expert in treasures and artifacts of virtually every era and culture. Jubilost eyes Willis up and down. So many titles for a single piece of mediocrity. Willis blushes and pretends that he just noticed the gnome. Sir Narthropple, you're here. What a nice price. Oh, really? In case you hadn't noticed, I've been here from the start. Or perhaps after the open lecture in the Foray Logos in Absalom, you've lost not only the rest of your mind, but also your eyesight? Willis straightens his jacket indignantly and lifts his chin. I see your manners haven't improved since last we met. Well, happily, I no longer consider you the beacon of knowledge you once were. You can joke however you like. I'm above such discourse. And Jubilost grins. The only thing that puts you above me is your size, Willis, and even that isn't so impressive for a human. Willis's face turns dark red and his eyes start to twitch. Pressing his lips tightly, he turns back to you. Tell me about those who tricked you. They were a trio I hired to retrieve my possessions from Candlemar's Island. Turned out to be a bunch of tricksters. You must know the place, in the center of the lake, with the ancient temple ruins. So they took my money, jumped into the boat, and whoosh, gone with the wind. So many days have passed, and not a single word from them, and they had the nerve to call themselves a paladin and a cleric. Scum is what they really are. Willis stamps the ground in anger. Can you tell me more about them? A ranger, a paladin of Irori, and a cleric of Nethys. You know, that two-faced god? Frankly speaking, that one gave me the creeps from the very beginning. Half of those servants of Nethys are real psychos. Today they agree to help you, and tomorrow they change their minds at the drop of a hat. And this one played his tricks on me too. Willis sighs. A paladin and a cleric who willingly took up a job running errands for you. Sounds strange if you ask me. Willis mulls over your words for some time. You know, Your Grace, when I mentioned the old temple, they exchanged a glance, like I was talking about some hidden treasure. I was such a fool. I should have realized from the start that they had their own agenda. Let's go back to my other questions. And fine, I'll try to figure it out. Willis sighs, relieved. Praise Desna. Don't let those scoundrels leave with my treasure. If you manage to learn something new, please let me know. I'm staying at the tavern in the center of town, and that's where I'll wait for good news. Willis bows and steps back from you without straightening back up. Dragon bows, cuffing quietly into his beard. Your Grace, I would like to apologize. I suppose I was a little headstrong during my last visit. I have a bad temper. In the mountains, they used to call me Grumbler. Well, I didn't expect my petition to be taken seriously. No one wants to share with strangers, even if their demands are quite lawful. Please know that I appreciate your honesty. Please accept this. I worked hard on it, and I hope that it serves you well. And he gives us the item called the Warhammer of Hatred. Okay. It is a decent piece of work, to be fair, but not a masterpiece. Masterpieces are rare, once-in-a-lifetime accomplishments. Anyway, I have an idea how to use our family relic for your greater glory, but I am going to need your help. Come by if you're interested, and I'll tell you more. Thank you for your gift. It is a pleasure to work hard for such an honorable lord. Shainia, I am happy to see you, O most worthy one. A new gift and new stories await you. Please, accept this fine item. It has been crafted according to the traditions of Udrani craftsmanship. Even in the impossible kingdoms, possessing something so precious would inspire awe and envy. And we receive a monastic karma. I thank you, Shania the Tulip. I would gladly relate a story from my homeland that inspired me to create this, but alas, due to another pressing matter, I must take my leave sooner than I would like. I can't say I'm very displeased about that. So what are these two items we got? Monastic Karma, enhancement +2. That's not bad. And the Warhammer of Hatred. +1 enhancement and 1d6 increased damage against orcs and goblins and 2d6 against giants. I don't think we need either of them, but nice to have. For the vendor, of course. What date is it? So, -1 economy, divine, arcane and culture, and then +1 relations. Okay. When is this curse thing going on? Because we have... I don't think so. We have 14 days to rank up loyalty, which, of course, is a good thing. The Curse of Candlemere, that's a new quest. So the curse will be in 17 days. Let's rank up loyalty then, and after that we will end the episode. Rotten Beasts. Okay. Okay, we really need to go to that hilltop. Like, really need to go to the hilltop. So the regent convinced the bard to accept our invitation for him to hold a concert at the capital, and the event was a success. +5 community, +2 loyalty. Harim, after climbing the hill surrounded by a crowd, Harim threw his hands up to the sky. The clouds cleared away and a blood-red moon emerged, its face reminiscent of a grinning skull. The hearts of the people were filled with dark gloom. +2 military, +5 divine. And Regongar managed to use guards and soldiers to capture the instigators before the region fell to full rebellion. +3 military. Yeah, let's put Regongar on this and use a crisis point. And I think we'll end the episode before we go into the throne room. So thank you all so very much for joining me, and I will see you all next time.